Yes, now my people, welcome back to the Physique Podcast. And today I'm going to be touching on a very particular emotional subject that I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, and that is why I left the UK. Now, I could go down the rabbit hole of lazy excuses such as, it's way too expensive, the weather is shit, the people are cunts. However, I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to give you genuine explanations about the reason why I no longer live in the UK. Now, the reason that we are in Bali and we live in Bali is not only because we prefer Bali or I prefer Bali, it's because the alternative for me is the UK. I tried Dubai, I tried Spain, I've tried Germany, I've tried Australia, I've tried Thailand, and Bali just felt like home. And it's not like the UK didn't feel like home. It's particularly that I fell out of love with the UK. Living in the UK for the majority of my life, being German, moving to Australia for 5 years, then moving to the UK when I was 7 years old, I lived the majority of my life in the UK. I went to university in the UK. I went to college in the UK. I went to school in the UK. I started my online coaching business in the UK. However, the UK is not what it once was. Now, I'm not going to hide behind the tax situation. The tax situation is very evident, especially if you are self-employed. However, if you can run your business properly and you have a good accountant, you can actually get around those tax situations. So the predominant reason why I left the UK isn't because of the tax situation, okay? If I did that, I would fucking go to Dubai, right? I'm not doing that. And Dubai, again, has its own issues that, again, Bali doesn't have. And I'm not saying that Bali is going to be where it is right now forever. The reason why Dubai isn't once what it was, and the reason why the UK is not what it once was, is largely down to the people in those locations. And we can talk about the weather not being great. And I don't know about you, but 5 a.m. cold, wet, grey mornings aren't the one. And I would much rather wake up every day to sunshine. But it still rains in Bali. It still isn't all sunshine and rainbows. The alternative that is the UK of 2 weeks of sun per year versus sun every single day is an attractive one. However, I'm talking more about environment. The environment that Bali gives me to be the best version of myself. There is very little negativity in Bali. Everybody wants you to succeed. Every conversation that you have is pushing you closer to being the best version of yourself. I was having a conversation with Estee the other day about this. It's very difficult in the UK to be consistently optimistic because there are so many things and so many people bringing you down that it's so hard. Even for myself, I would class myself as an outrageously optimistic person. Even I struggled sometimes to be optimistic every single day for 365 days of the year. And that just brings you back down. It brings you backwards. And you can't keep having situations where you have a good 3-month period or you have a good 4-month period and then you get dragged backwards because of something happening, because of people, because of the gym you're at. You know, the reality is there are some good people in the UK, but largely it's full of dickheads. It's full of dickheads who say one thing, do another, constantly contradict themselves, constantly two-faced, backstab. It's just draining. It's genuinely just draining. Every single person here that you meet just wants to be better. You can't say that for people in the UK. And then you've got the situation with cost of living. My God, I have no idea why electricity costs the amount that it does. Because here in Bali, electricity, £100 of it will last you literally a whole month. And you've got aircon units, you've got a pool, you've got appliances on 24/7. There's none of this, switch this off, switch that off. You can keep the lights on, you can keep your air fryer on, you can keep everything on, and you can have a shower for as long as you fucking want, because guess what? Water is included in the rent. So there is no water bill in Bali. That doesn't exist, right? And that's just one thing that is a good example. There's no council tax. There's no water bill. It's you pay your month's rent and everything else is included. You have to pay your electricity and that is it. Now, if we're talking purely from a cost of living point of view, that is outrageously different from the UK because you've got your water bill, you've got your lecky bill, you've got your council tax, you've got your TV license, and then you've got your subscriptions to Netflix. It all just adds up. And then you go to the fucking supermarket, and then 1 kilo of chicken is costing you a fucking mortgage. So you got to take a small loan out if you want to buy a steak. The other day, I went to the UK. The other day, the steak is in a security packet. What the fuck is going on? People in the UK have led it to Tesco's as the Sainsbury's, putting a security tag on fucking steak. What is going on? And just everything else. And do you know what? I can't even be asked to keep going on about the negatives because I'm not that way inclined. The reality is the UK is going downhill. The UK is finished. The economy is finished. Now, you match that with the people. You match that with the fact that everything is going down. There's nothing that is going up, right? And then you come to a place like Bali, you've got sun, you've got sea, you've got great people, you've got great facilities, you've got great possibility to network and improve. And knowledge comes from who you know, not what you know. And a lot of people have to spend a lot of money in the UK to gain access to the information that's literally on your doorstep in Bali. And that is the main reason why I love it here. Because the reality is, whether you're in UK, whether you're in Dubai, whether you're in Marbella, whether you're in Bali, whether you're in Thailand or Australia, you are just looking for that environment to bring the best out of you. And I'm telling you right now that Bali is that place for me. And it has been for the last 12 months, especially in the last 6. I have never been this productive in my life. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning, have consultation calls. I then reply to clients. I then have my morning to myself. I journal. I have a coffee. I go on a walk. I walk my dog. And then again, I'm working again at 2 p.m. And then I'm working until 5. And then I'll go to the gym. And then I'll go to bed. And in between there, I'll have some food. That's how I love to live my days because I'm just progressing every single day. You know, journaling for me has made a massive impact. And I'm going to touch upon that in another podcast. But being able to centralize my thoughts and actually write them down on a piece of paper has actually served me so well. And I wouldn't be journaling in a place like the UK. I just wouldn't, because I wouldn't be in the mindset that I am now to be able to have those conversations with myself internally, because you're worried about so much else around you. You're worried about the next bill that's coming through. Why is this going up? Dreading going shopping because £50 gets you absolutely nothing. You know, the food situation here is actually ridiculous. Like, I'm a person who comes from a bodybuilding background. I love food. And the fact that food costs me next to nothing here in comparison to where I've come from is genuinely the best thing to happen. Like chicken here. The chicken is a chicken, bruv. A chicken is a chicken, right? Whether it's in the UK, whether it's in Dubai, whether it's in Bali. A chicken is a chicken, right? 1 kilo of chicken here costs half of what a 1 kilo of chicken costs in the UK. How? I'll tell you how, because it gets processed. All these layers of processing gets added onto your food. Your food is not natural anymore. Even if it looks like just chicken breast, it's been pumped full of shit. When the chicken gets slaughtered, it's been pumped full of pesticides, been pumped full of preservatives. Chicken should not last 4 or 5 days in a fridge. Here in Bali, chicken lasts 1 day, 24 hours, and then you've got to eat it. If you don't, then it goes off and it has to go in the bin. All right? It's really important to understand that. You're getting killed by the amount of processing that is getting put in natural foods. But one hard truth here is that your postcode doesn't fix your laziness. If anything, it amplifies it. I go to a cafe and I see people working, I have conversations. I hear how much they're working. I hear how much they're earning from their job. I hear how much impact they are having. And it just inspires me to have more impact, have more mentees, have more clients, have greater impact with my messaging, have greater impact with the value that I provide with my service. That is what I'm chasing right now. I don't care about cars. I don't care about money. I'm chasing impact. Now, for anyone listening who wants to be successful and wants to be impactful, guess what? You become very impactful, you make a lot of money. I don't really focus about the money aspect. I just want to be as impactful as possible as a mentor and as a coach. And that consequence and byproduct of chasing being impactful and doing things to raise my level of impactfulness is allowing me to generate more income, but it's not the primary objective. The man who loves walking will always travel further than the man who loves the destination. And that's where I'm at right now. I just enjoy the process. I enjoy waking up at 3:30 in the morning. I get a little nudge in the morning every day from Estee. What the fuck are you doing up again? I got calls. I got a call. Let's go. And then I'll have my nap when I can have my nap, but when I have the opportunity to be impactful, when I have an opportunity to change a man's life, I will take that opportunity with both hands and I will never let it slip out of my grasp. And that is a mindset that I would never have in the UK because I never did. I'm speaking to you now after being in Bali for 12 months. These words would never be coming out of my mouth. Journaling. Fuck, mate, do you think I would ever be journaling? Of course not. So you do need to make the move. If you don't, and you have the ability to make the move right now, you are simply going to regret it because Bali has absolutely everything that you need. It has got the sun, the sea, the environment, the people, the facilities. There is literally absolutely nothing that you can say is a downside to living in Bali. Absolutely nothing. And that's exactly why you need to come and fly here. And if you do, let me know. More than happy to link up. We will go for a training session. I might even have you on the podcast. Who knows? But that has been today's episode of the Physique Podcast. If you have any questions about specifically moving to Bali and how it works, please just let me know in the comments down below.